K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
Game on, where progressives fear us and rhinos tremble. Welcome to the political jungle. I'm JD.
This is Stacey. No one is safe. No one is spared.
Lock up the children.
And the old folk.
Welcome to the world of liberservative conservatarians.
Yes, baby. Lordy, Lordy. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition and the cocaine. Good Sunday morning, April 24th, 2016, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. JD and Stacey here on Game On, part of that Conservative Commandos radio network on that K98 Talk. Spring is sprung, baby. Time to run and be in heat if you ain't fixed. Welcome back to all our political geeks, sneaks, and back alley freaks. Everybody within the sound of my voice right now, you know exactly what to do. Get over to K98Talk.org. Get in that chat room. Say hello to Stacey. Say hello to the up earliest with the chickens. One of them has already run a marathon. Smartest, nakedest from the pictures they send us. Stop, Ron. Oive Schmear. Listening political radio audience in the business. JD and Stacey, baby, your radio delegate ground guy. It's Sunday. How you, baby?
I'm good. How are you?
Getting better by the second.
Cocaine and ammunition at the same time, I'm not sure about it.
Say it, Eddie. Ooh, baby, Jesus, Lordy, Eddie Vedder, the preacher Eddie Vedder on a Sunday morning, this morning, baby. Little Donnie has spots and leopards don't change, baby. Clinton Mafia versus the last of the old school FBI. Weekend update. Nonsense to the world and more. Take us into the show, Eddie. That's right, baby. JD and Stacey, your radio animals. Remember, we're not just here live for Game On Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on that K98 Talk. Part of that Conservative Commandos radio network. We're live again Tuesday, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Friday, 5 p.m. drive time. We are the drive time lead into Yahoo Sports on that WNWNWN, JC 1360 AM. Serving that Philadelphia, Southern Jersey, Northern Delaware. Stacey and I are negotiating to get up in that Dallas market coming up. For those of you who have helped get us where we are, would like to see us continue taking over the world. We've secured ourselves a couple of sponsors. We could always use a couple of more. Anybody you know who may be interested in becoming a sponsor of the show or advertising in the Dallas metro market, please reach out to Rick, R-I-C-K, at K98Talk.org. For those of you that went to public school, that's K98Talk.org. And remember, Hooples, today there's no football. The draft's not till Thursday. If it's not nice out, what you do, you stay inside. If it is nice out, you put on the phone, you plug it in, you get over to Spreaker.com, hashtag JD and Stacey, JDANDSTACEY. Find a catalog of everything we've been doing here with that Ricky Ticky Tavi, Rick Robinson, that K98 Talk, the cantankerous Rick Trader. And for those of you in the chat room, don't let Randy Arrington bother you, baby. He don't have those planes to come bomb your house no more. Good morning, darling.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, just ducky.
Just ducky. It's a beautiful day here. I'm so excited. Heading headlong into spring. Summer's around the corner. Woo!
Same here. I'm running the hell out of here as soon as the show is done. I don't think I'm coming back. Good Lord. How was your weekend?
Very, very good. Like I said, beautiful weather. Hanging out with friends. Opening at Cherokee Market yesterday. A good friend of mine owns it. Wonderful antiques, wonderful fresh produce, and homemade goodies. I probably ate a lot more than I should have.
Cherokee Market, if I can't buy tax-free cigarettes, I ain't going.
Cherokee County, not Cherokee Nation.
Okay,
Sorry.
terrific.
Tomato, wampum, savages, the whole nine. Let's see. Oh wow, we got a nice little group in chat. What are you people doing up? Are you all up from last night? Were you doing the cocaine and sleeping in the gutter?
No. People just like the worst image of our audience. Ugh.
We've met some people in our audience. I think we're spot on.
Oh, my God.
Half of our audience, you got to ask.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
There's not a lot of answers. But without further ado, baby, the reason that everybody tunes in on Sunday morning, this weekend update. Now, I hate morning
you're
shows.
Starting already.
Weekend update for the weekend in April 24th, 2016. Brought to you by that Mr. Eric Williams of the BarbedWireSatire.com, baby. Pandering to blacks during a radio interview with black DJs, Hillary said she always carries hot sauce in her purse. A watermelon won't fit. Jesus Christ, Williams, said a laughing Clinton. Asked to prove it to her unamused radio host. Hillary pulled out a bottle of her purse. She said, "My hot sauce is pretty spicy. It's absolute pepper vodka, and it goes wherever I go."
Hey, where are the white women at?
Donald Trump reacted to the Harriet Tubman news. "I'm a bit of a history buff, and I just don't understand why they think Aunt Jemima deserves to be on our currency," Trump said. "I also mean, have you seen that mug? Also, like Rosa Parks, those other black ladies getting on the 5s and 10s can't be too happy about being told to go to the back of the bill."
I hope you're happy, Williams. We have to hire private security. Low-life Virginia governor and Clinton hitman Terry McAuliffe signed an executive order giving 200,000 ex-convicts the right to vote for the Democratic Party, a blatant attempt to help his former boss. The ironic part of this voter fraud move is that it will allow former felons to vote for a future felon. Oh, my God, what did they get funny?
Target announced this week that all of their stores will now allow any man who identifies as a woman to enter the women's restrooms and dressing rooms. This makes all Target's common sense free zones. It also breaks every retailer's golden rule: never go full retard.
Trying to force everyone to accept the fringe as mainstream by pushing hard for gender-neutral bathrooms everywhere, the group for gays, once known as LGBT, has changed their name. No longer lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual. LBGT now stands for liberal, Gestapo, bully, and totalitarian, pretty much.
Pretty much. 10 jihadists, Durka, blew themselves to pieces.
No. That was an instruction, not part of the joke.
Oh,
what you do is take
okay.
your pen. We're going to start over. Take your pen. Cross out between the, what the hell are those things? Parentheses.
I'll just do a pause. How's that? Ready?
There you go.
10 jihadists.
Oh, Durka.
blew themselves to pieces while trying to build a bomb in Afghanistan. The Taliban is quick to claim responsibility when a terror strikes go well for them, but seem to be avoiding doing the same when they screw up. This only strengthens suspicions that Obama is one of the leaders of their organization.
How many times do I have to tell you, Mohammed? You have to plug the green clip over here and the other one over here. Michelle is the one who taught me how to do bombs. Hillary's IT fall guy, Brian Pagliano, is refusing to meet with Congress to testify about his Secret Service setup. Secret Service setup. Secret Service setup. I don't know why I can't get past that. When asked why he wouldn't agree to tell what he knows about Clinton's activities, Pagliano said in a statement through his lawyer, I enjoy breathing. I like that one. And that was your weekend update for the weekend in April 24th, 2016. Brought to you by that Mr. Eric Williams at the All right, hold on. Let me reset my audio, my bubble here. We're still better off having Williams write these. I'd have us thrown off the radio in like 2 days.
Oh, he could get us killed, I think. But
if he hasn't gotten us killed by now with some of the nonsense that we say, I don't think it's going to happen.
Woo!
Oh, man. And I think the biggest question that remains out there is who are the Jets going to take with that number 20 pick on Thursday? You heard it here first, Hooples. They draft Paxton Lynch with the 20th pick on Thursday if the Bills don't take him at 19. And then you know what happens? Ryan Fitzpatrick decides to sign for $5 and 9 magic beans because he wants a job to pay for his kids. Okay, very nice. That's the NFL draft for 2016. However, we keep going on and on and on and on about the primary on our side and how destructive it is to the party in general and the party's hopes for a victory in 2016. And honestly, I hate to be the ones to dispirit everybody. I don't see how the Republican Party wins no matter who's the nominee. I really, really don't. Because the Trump people are not going to vote for Cruz. The Cruz people are not going to vote for Trump. And honestly, the person who nominally running as a Republican who has the best shot of winning this is probably Trump by grabbing other Democrats. However, with all the nonsense and mishegas that's been going on the Republican side, I think we've been giving very short shrift to Hillary's FBI and server problems. Because if you listen to the news, they bring it up. Let me tell you something about the media, kids. You've probably heard and been more surprised about people in the mainstream media bringing up the email scandal and asking Hillary about it as we go through this process. And you see her all the time. She gets the vapors. How could you ask me? It's a right-wing conspiracy. Blah, 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 blah. This is going to stop either after the Democratic National Convention or if Bernie drops out. And for those of you who are sitting there thinking that the media has finally got it, that the more than Praetorian Guard for the left and for the Clinton administration is finally going after this woman, you're wrong. Because the mainstream media, as you all know, is nothing but biased. And you know who they love? They love Bernie Sanders. So right now, it'll get people to watch. It'll sell some papers. It'll sell some shows. It'll get some clicks. But mark my word, folks, the media interest in this email story is going away as soon as Uncle Speedo either gets out or the convention's over. That's how I see it.
Absolutely. They're not really all that interested in it now. I mean, if you look at the number of stories given the litigation that's going on that don't come out of what I would call alternative media sources, I mean, the only one we even really saw writing about the connections to the Kremlin was, at 20 committee, John Schindler. He was the only one really writing about that. That's a big problem.
It is, but it isn't, because if you take a look at the stories that are out, the rest of the people who basically are the editorial head of the mainstream media, they're very well aware of the issues that Hillary has over her damn emails.
You've got me.
Get that jail door closed, baby.
Well, I mean,
no less than Jim Vandehei, who is the co-founder of Politico. On Wednesday morning, see, to Stacey's point, she's right. The media knows about Hillary's problems. Sometimes they bring it up to make Bernie look better. Sometimes they play Praetorian Guard. But I thought this was very interesting. This is Politico. Their co-founder, Jim Vandehei, said Wednesday morning that Hillary Clinton's biggest problem when it comes to the email scandal and the private server is that the FBI has gotten heavily involved in the case. How do we know the FBI is heavily involved in the case, JD and Stacey? You're going to hear a lot of numbers that get thrown around. Nominally, there's a number of about 150 agents. And everybody says, oh, my God, look at this. They're going to get it. From what I'm reading and reading between the lines, it looks like there's about 30 FBI agents at justice on this. And there was a federal judge. This is where Vanda High thinks that Hillary's going to have her biggest problem. Tuesday, Politico reported that a federal judge allowed Judicial Watch, that's the conservative watchdog group, to pursue legal discovery in how Clinton's email account was fused into the State Department's record-keeping system. Joyce Royce Lambert, the second federal judge on the case, described Clinton's private server arrangement as extraordinary. Lambert also said there was evidence of government wrongdoing and bad faith. Well, how bad could it be, JD and Stacey? For those of you out there who remember Abscam or have written about it, Stacey, did you see the letter that was written by the Long Island chapter of the Society of Former FBI Agents directly to Jim Comey on March 16th?
No, I did not see that letter.
There is a chapter, and it's actually based here on Long Island. That's why it's called the Long Island chapter. And it's all these former FBI agents. New York and the Northeast, Long Island, in the outer suburbs in particular, are very heavy with federal law enforcement. So you have these retired FBI agents. 6 of them happened to work on what was called the Abscam investigation in 1978. For those of you who went to public school, Abscam is basically what the movie American Hustle was based on. They had done undercover work, the FBI did. They got a yacht, they posed as sheiks, and they ended up taking down 6 members of the Congress and 1 member of the U.S. Senate. The FBI director at the time, I believe, was William Webster. And he told his agents in 1978 that being that they were going to investigate right into the direct central halls of power, he told them that the future of the FBI rested on this investigation. Why am I dragging all of this out and explaining this? Because I want to read this letter. In 1978, the director of the FBI said that the investigation of the Abscam in 78 was so important that the fate of the FBI and that of the country rested on it. These agents penned this 2-paragraph letter about a month ago, and they seem more concerned than they were even back then. This is from the Society of Former Special Agents of the FBI, letter written to James Comey, signed by John F. Good, their president. Dear Director Comey, the Long Island chapter of the Society of Former Special Agents of the FBI, hereinafter called the chapter, would like to extend our ardent support for you and the agents involved in the enormous challenge with which you are confronted. The investigation into an email controversy involving a high government official's alleged mishandling of classified information on her private email server. In 1978, a number of agents in the chapter were directly involved in a sting operation, Abscam, a highly publicized investigation of which Judge William Webster said at the outset, quote, the future of the FBI rests on this case, unquote. Yours and the Bureau's challenge today is a far cry from what existed 38 years ago. Similarly, it is the chapter's membership opinion that not only does the future of the Bureau, but also that of the United States of America rest on the outcome of this crucial case. Decisions must be based on facts alone. Much is at stake here, people's trust in the Bureau for years to come, as well as the Bureau's reputation among our allies, partners, and friends as the greatest law enforcement agency in the world. You have the enthusiastic respect of the chapter, and we are certain of the loyalty of all former agents of the FBI. Those sentiments, before we even saw this letter, dovetailed perfectly into how you wanted to go about this segment, correct?
Well, I mean, I think those sentiments from what we're hearing coming out of the Bureau are mirrored by, current agents that are working on the case. Everything that, and of course it's all anonymous sources or sources that wish not to be identified, is that serious prosecutions have happened for much less than what they have. And, Obama went on Chris Wallace last weekend and went to great lengths to say, number one, he didn't believe anything untoward had happened, but he wasn't involved in the details. And number two, he was not going to instruct Attorney General Loretta Lynch to do anything one way or the other. He was staying out of it. So he's going to great lengths to say there is no political interference. But when you take a look at the breadth of the investigation, where it's getting into the Clinton Foundation and funds that went through there, decisions that were made by the State Department when Hillary was actually Secretary of State. I mean, this is no longer just about her email. And, there is some perspective that if she is not prosecuted, agents are going to start leaking that investigation. And leaking FBI's investigations is problematic. But if the decision-making process is that corrupt, I think you're going to see wide-scale revolt.
For those of you who are really political freaks, geeks, and back alley sneaks, when Stacey was talking about that what could be a possible leak, this was actually brought up. For those of you who don't know who Charles Grassley is, Senator Chuck Grassley from Iowa is about 738 years old. He was actually a king for 5 years in the old Ottoman Empire. He is this crazy, I shouldn't. Grassley's just one of these people that if you look at him, he's a guy in Iowa. He got elected by 9 people 68 years ago, and now he's one of the most powerful people in Washington. And he has a tendency to slip into dementia and senility and kind of just speak out loud about things that he shouldn't have. And there's a bunch of articles this week where Grassley's giving an interview, forgets that he's a sitting member of the Senate and that he's talking to a reporter, and and talks about, to Stacey's point, how there may be leaks coming out of the FBI if Kankles and the rest of the stormtroopers have their way. And my thought as I looked at it, because Charles Grassley isn't smart enough to be Machiavellian, what I'm actually hoping, baby, is I'm actually wondering if the FBI, as much as people are worried that the DOJ and Loretta Lynch offices is feeding back into the White House so that they have an ear of what's going on, I think Charles Grassley just told us the Republicans have the same thing, but evidently we too stupid to keep it quiet, baby. All right, Sunday morning, coming back, segment 2, before we go into the bottom of the 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Hour, coming up here on 11:30. Stacey and I are going to be talking about Lil Donnie, Trumpkins, hand up Schmeckle here in the radio. Lil Donnie's moving left. He's taking you with him, and I'm going to love to hear you idiots Trumps playing this. JD and Stacey, game on here on that K98 Talk, part of that Conservative Commandos Radio Network. Diamond Dave.
One break coming up.
This is a slippery trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
The feeling most people get when they hear a Barack Obama speech, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I don't have that too often.
Steady.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. Ricky Robinson, host of America Off the Rails, will tackle the important issues facing America today as he tries to keep America from coming off the track. Get ready to hear the truth every Monday through Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, here on K98Talk.com and the Spark Radio Network.
Welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy.
Are you conservative in a world of liberal?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're not alone. Hey, I'm Daniel Stafford, host of the Stafford Voice, and I'd like to invite you to tune in each Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern, where I'll break down the events of the week, and together we'll learn about how they affect you. So, sit back and get ready for the good, the bad, and the ugly of talk radio right here on K98 Talk.
From the Vikings of Norway to my home down south to Washington, D.C., I've been around. I've seen it all, and I've come out on top. You better beware, for all you know, the bell tolls for you. Enter the bell tower or watch your step. 8 p.m. Thursdays, K98 Talk.
Welcome back to Game On. JD and Stacey, part of that Conservative Commandos radio network here on that K98 Talk. Hey, everybody within the sound of my Sunday voice, you know exactly what to do. Get over to K98Talk.org, get in that chat room, say hello to Stacey, join the conversation. Remember, guys, we're not just here Sunday, 11 a.m. We're live for Game On again Tuesday, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on K98. Friday with a 5 p.m. lead-in on WNJC 1360 a.m. to that Yahoo Sports, serving that Philadelphia, Southern Jersey, Northern Delaware. After the show, Hoople's Not During. You get over to Spreaker.com, hashtag JD and Stacey, JDANDSTACEY. Find out a catalog of everything we've been doing here with that Ricky Ticky Tavi Rick Robinson and that K98 Talk. And for those of you in the chat room, no electioneering. Arrington, stop telling people you voted for Cruz while shilling for Trump, okay? Just stop. Stop. You have a radio show. Go prompt Trumposaurus Rex all you want to. It's not going to happen here. You understand? Shut up! Jesus God. I voted for Ted. He's got like psyops and mind games going on. That's why you got to get in the chat room.
I know.
You tell him, stop it. Whatever.
Whatever.
I think you spend too much time up in that ozone atmosphere.
All right. Well, in full disclosure, as you know, we've said on the show before, at this point, I have been never Trump for some time, and I believe JD would also classify himself that way at this point in time. We're always open to changing our minds, but mine hasn't changed. Point. And interestingly enough, part of my objection has always been Donald Trump is not a Republican. He takes what he saw on the left as a conservative point of view and basically the left's cartoon of it and states that as his position, and then goes, oh no, when a bunch of conservatives and Republicans freak out and say, what are you talking about? You know, we saw that on his original comments about, punishing abortions. This week, it got even more interesting, in my personal opinion. He had a town hall on the Today Show and did such a hard pivot left on a couple of topics that I've had his biggest fans coming and arguing with me for days using one sentence and trying to apply its meaning more generally when they didn't listen to the full context of his comments. Mostly it was around, number one, taxes and taxing the rich. Number two, the North Carolina bathroom law, and there were specific questions in the town hall, so Donald Trump, if Caitlyn Jenner was in your building, she could go use the ladies' room and you'd be fine with that, and of course he is. And really hitting North Carolina hard for the economic impacts he perceives that their new law is going to have. He also once again repeats his line about how he came out against the Iraq War when nobody else did, which is also not true. If you go back and actually look at tape from back then, he was for it before he was against it. But has been highly critical of taking out Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi, and actually said, they were really bad guys, but they were really good at killing. Last I understood, they were really good at funding terrorists.
I'm sorry, what?
I said last I heard they were really good at funding terrorists.
Who was? You just launched into a single breath. There was a lot there. I missed what you were saying about the terrorists.
Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein. His comments
I honestly,
were
that's the first time in a year plus that we came out of a break and launched into a topic. So you took me completely out of what I was doing. So go back to what you were saying about the Saddam Hussein.
He actually said we should not have removed Saddam Hussein or Muammar Gaddafi, not because they weren't really, really terrible and awful people, but because they were really good at killing terrorists.
And basically what Stacey is talking about here is, something that people who had been predisposed not to be ideologically inclined with Trump from the beginning, basically by saying, I don't understand how a guy who's been a lifelong Democrat all of a sudden has these conservative principles, to Stacey's point, the one that she just ticked off. And this seems to be the point in the campaign where Trump and his people have decided that they no longer need conservatives. To my mind, I don't think they ever wanted or needed conservatives, because this goes back to even before his vitriol and his hyperbole got so completely over the top. He had the statement about conservatives are the reason that we lose. We lose because conservatives. Trumpkins, hand off Schmeckel, ear on the radio. So to Stacey's point, people who have been predisposed to be never Trump, have been waiting for this moment for Trump to pivot. And so have his supporters. Only I think that his supporters thought he was going to pivot right or to the center. But he hasn't. Lil Donnie has moved left. And to Stacey's point, the North Carolina bathroom law, abortion, taxes. Now, taxes I actually can't believe. I mean, this must have gotten lost in that Wisconsin. I had not realized how hard he went after the Walker administration for not raising taxes in Wisconsin to cover the $2.2 billion budget deficit. But what jumps out at me, Stacey, it's not so much that he has these positions that are contrary to the Republican Party planks. The Republican Party, because it's so weak, in my mind, is set up specifically to be destroyed by a person like Donald Trump.
Oh, I mean, I don't disagree. He goes in to this town hall at the Today Show and says he wants to modify the Republican Party platform in regards to abortion. So I went back and I read the Republican Party platform in regards to abortion. In that, it makes no policy prescriptions. It really talks about ideology and the value of the life of the unborn, believing it should be protected by the First Amendment, the 14th Amendment, and on and on and on. It doesn't say a law, according to Republicans, should look like this. So he wants to modify that to include exceptions and other things. And what's shocking to me is, Phyllis Schlafly, one of the biggest pro-life advocates in the entire world, he just took a platform she's very, very fond of and pivoted left. He goes, I'm the most pro-life. Well, wait a minute, Donald. No, you're not. And in fact, this has actually gone on since the beginning of his campaign. When he was first asked about Syrian refugees, his first instinct was, well, of course we've got to take them. It's the humanitarian thing to do. Then I think Ann Coulter kicked him in the you know what, and he changed his mind. This has gone on repeatedly. So you saw him talking about the North Carolina bathroom law, and what he said is they should have just left why make a law? They're going to pay for it. Businesses are leaving, this, that, or the other thing. And then somebody inside the campaign buffed him up the side of the head and said, what were you doing? And now he's come back and tried to make this argument for states' rights, which he completely threw under the bus on the Today Show interview. And nobody ever takes him to task on these position changes. And what's concerning to me and has concerned me since the beginning of the campaign is his first instinct is always left, and then somebody corrects him.
And this is on the heels of, you're going to hear a name thrown around, Paul Manafort. Trumpkins, hand up Schmeckel, ear in the radio. Who's Paul Manafort, Stacey? He is the consummate Washington insider and lobbyist. Hey, Trumpkins, all right? Clean the I can't even say it. Clean the bodily fluid ejection out of your ear, okay? And listen for a second. Who's Paul Manafort? He is the establishment. He's
the business partner.
He is the industry lobbyist in D.C. Why did he go and speak to the RNC at their spring meeting coming into the convention when the other two candidates went and Trump just sent Manafort and another surrogate? Why? Because Manafort speaks their language. So, Trumpkin idiots, listen. Not only is Lil Donnie spending money now, because one of the things in this tape-recorded interview that Manafort got caught saying, the big takeaway from this is that Manafort. So basically, he's trying to tell all of the GOP establishment at this spring meeting, and Chris Steyerwalt on Fox had some great on-the-ground reporting about this. The GOP as a party and the establishment insiders themselves are so afraid of what this primary season is doing to the Republican Party, they are ready to believe anything. They want to believe that Donald Trump is just saying the things that he's saying so he can win the primary and then end up like Cardinal Richelieu being the most so presidential, you will be bored of my presidentialness in the general election. They need this to happen, so they're ready to listen to anybody. So what happens? Manafort comes up there and tells them, quote, speaking about Trump, when he's sitting in a room, he's talking business. He's talking politics in a private room. It's a different persona. When he's out on the stage, when he's talking about the kinds of things he's talking about on the stump, he's projecting an image. That's for a purpose. He goes on to say about Trump that he's playing a part, quote, he, meaning Trump, gets it. And this is Manafort speaking. The part that he's been playing is evolving into the part that you've now been expecting. This is trying to tell everybody in the establishment that this guy isn't some Vicodin-infused, unhinged, septuagenarian billionaire loon, but he wasn't ready for because he had to first feed the first phase. Paul, I've got to give Manafort this. The reason that he is such a successful lobbyist is because he can shine turds and call it gold like this. I read what he told the RNC, and what kills me is that these bobble-headed idiots bought it. I want you to read this. I want you to listen to this. Manafort insisted that Trump's deep unpopularity nationwide, fueled by months of unapologetic bluster on the campaign trail, would be easily remedied when the candidate shifts gears. In contrast, now listen to this, Hillary Clinton's negatives are character-driven and baked in, Manafort argued. He goes on in the speech. The negatives, speaking about Trump's, will come down. The image is going to change. But Clinton is still going to be crooked Hillary, and that's what you're going to be seeing a lot more of. And then he goes on to say how Trump is finally ready to spend the money that he didn't want to spend. So Manafort gets up there and says that Trump can get rid of 70% negatives after the primary because his are because Hillary's are character-driven and Trump's negatives are personality-driven. I want everybody to think about this for a second. Think about the hoople-headed, double-talking nonsense this guy is saying. He's saying that Hillary Clinton's negatives are because she's such an awful, cankled, skellbag thief of a character. She doesn't have the strength and the character issues to be president of the United States. With Donald's negatives are persona and personality. Let me help you out, Manafort. If an individual has to change his personality and or persona in order to get votes and win something, that by default is a character issue, you moron. You're going to stand up there with a straight face and say that Hillary Clinton's problem is untrustworthiness, and it's her character. But you're going to like my guy because my guy's just a jerk-off ass bag because he's faking it. Oh.
Well, no, but we have 40 years of him being a jerk-off. This didn't just start when he was running for president.
Being a jerk-off. I don't care.
It is his personality. He's an arrogant, narcissistic man-child.
I don't care. I don't care. I am not one of those people who have ever voted for somebody because I want to have a beer with them. I have voted for people I find to be detestable ass bags. However, if they're going to do their job and what they say, fine. This particular guy, he came out, he had 7 minutes after the New York primary, he had a thing, and Senator Cruz and no Lion Ted. The next day, he's back out on the trail with Lion Ted. He steps everything back up that way and then gives a public smackdown to Manafort and tells me, folks, people saying I'm going to change. He compared himself to Tiger Woods changing his swing if he didn't have to be a jerk-off.
I missed that. But, I mean, the other thing that you heard Manafort say during that 33 minutes is, we're not really that upset about the delegate process, but we're just bringing it to the voters. So, in other words, we get that this is the way it works, and Trump's winning, so it really doesn't hurt our feelings. I mean, he said something almost explicitly that way. We're intentionally getting people angry at you, was basically the message, and the RNC sits down for that. And then after this meeting, our erstwhile RNC chair decides to tweet out that people who are never Trump are the problem, not Trump.
I want to address this right before we go to break. Sandy in the chat room said the low info and poorly educated don't care. No, but that is not, Sandy, that is not the issue. That is not the issue. The issue that should concern people on our side who have put their support behind Trump. I don't think Trump voters are stupid. I really don't. I think that Trump voters see a lot of what we see. What I think that you're seeing here is you're seeing people inside the party and inside the movement who are so tired of losing that they just want to win at any cost. They just want to win at any cost. Let me ask you folks a question. If you had an opportunity in a hypothetical to commit a crime and come away with $100 million, you're going to have that $100 million, and then you're going to be handcuffed, and then you're going to be put in jail, and you're not going to have any way to say how that $100 million gets divvied up. Ladies and gentlemen, in Trumpkins, handoff Schmeckel, ear on the radio, Donald Trump is that $100 million, and you are all going directly to jail to watch him not give you a dime of it. Basically, in political speak, that means he's going to do everything he said he wasn't. So don't let us say we told you so, baby. Just listen to JD and Stacey give you 2 minutes, 30 seconds of a break. Come back into the top of the noon o'clock hour here on Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast on Game On. We're going to have some nonsense in the world. I think there's robots, and I've had enough of Donald Trump. JD and Stacey, K98 Talk. I won't play, damn it. How about this?
Hey everybody, this is Jason, host of According to Me. I'd like to invite you to check out my show. It's a 2-hour show that lasts 60 minutes and...
Listen, I hate to interrupt, but one thing I can do is read off a script. Just say, let me be clear a lot. It works.
President Obama, I can handle this. It's a radio promo. I'm not green. I've done this before.
Did someone say green?
Now, Al Gore is here. Listen, I'm just trying to record a radio promo. Do you mind?
Now, do you say good things about me on the show?
No, not at all. But if it makes you feel any better, I rip on Republicans just as much.
The AM radio frequencies give off very high levels of radiation.
Look, my show is on the internet, which you invented. Can I just do my promo?
I got a pen. I can veto that, you know.
I know you got a pen. It's not a law. It's a radio promo. Listen, just listen to my show. Barack Obama and Al Gore hate it, so you're going to love it.
Here's an executive order. Don't listen to his show. He doesn't like me. He's racist. And he doesn't recycle either.
That's it. I'm done. It's According to Me, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on K98 Talk.
Wondering why you're up early with us on a Sunday morning making a cocktail? News lately got you drinking? Hung over from the mainstream media by Sunday? We are, and we got you covered.
We sure do. We got your hangover cure for those weekly news blues. So sit back, top off your mimosa, and add some Baileys to that coffee.
Take a match to your copy of the New York Times. Light, funny, and oh yeah, news with booze.
And a lot of laughter.
Welcome to Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. If it's Sunday, it's Bloody Marys and Broadsheets.
We're your cure from your weekly news hangover.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level, or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio, and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
Welcome back to JD and Stacey here on Game On K98 Talk, breaking down the levees of your mind. Everybody get over to K98Talk.org right now. Get in that chat room. Join the conversation. Say hello to Stacey. Remember, guys, you can find us here live on K98 Talk, Tuesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday morning, Friday, 5 p.m. with a drive time lead into Yahoo Sports on that 1360 a.m. WNJC. We're negotiating to get up in the Dallas market. Got a couple sponsors. Could always use a couple more. For those of you in the Dallas listening metro area, you like to see JD and Stacey keep taking over the world? If you know somebody who'd like to become a sponsor, maybe advertise in Dallas Metro, reach out to Rick, R-I-C-K, at K98Talk.org. That's right, public school kids, K98Talk.org. And remember, guys, after the show, not during it, get over to Spreaker.com, hashtag JD and Stacey, JDANDSTACEY. Find out everything we've been doing here at that K98 Talk with that Riggy Ticky Tavi Rick Robinson. Welcome back.
Hello.
All righty. So, yes, Trumpkins, he's moving left. He's not moving right. The one thing in this election is, look, I'm not going to judge anybody, for who they're supporting and why. The best I can do is say this is why I support somebody or why I don't. Try to make my case and reason with them. But what I want to see that I think is going to be the most beautiful part of this election, or if Trump ends up going on getting the nomination and becoming president, is the continual Trump-splaining that's going to go on by Trump supporters. Because, the right is a lot different than the left. Obama comes up there, gives an executive order, everybody, F you, and the left goes, yeah, in your face, suck it. What are you going to do? No. If you look on the right's already doing it. Well, no, what Lil Donnie meant this. Lil Donnie has to say that. Lil Donnie doesn't mean anything, morons. Lil Donnie doesn't have to mean anything. He's worth $10 billion, and he didn't have to spend a nickel to get your vote, did he, Hooples? Yeah. Let's make America something again. I've had enough of Donald Trump. However, if you don't want to work for the Trump organization, may I recommend a Mankato business. This is from, I don't even know where the hell this is from, Keyc.com. The owner of a, what the hell state is
Minnesota.
This is Mankato, Minnesota. The owner of a Mankato auto repair shop is under arrest after authorities say he offered employees a bonus in the form of meth. Before I go on, this is a bad business model. It's
a really bad business model.
I totally agree. What you want to do is you want to pay the employees on their regular hours in meth, and then you offer a cash bonus. Because think about the productivity, right? So if you looked at everybody and you're like, hey, man, here's your $1,500 a week, and if you hit X, we're going to give you meth. And then you're sitting there going, well, why would I want to work that hard to get meth when I could just work 9 to 5, get my $1,500, and buy meth? So the business model is shot to hell. You let them, you pay everybody in meth on the straight hours, and then the cash is the overtime. Wednesday night, agents from the Minnesota River Valley Drug Task Force conducted a search warrant of Clear Choice Auto Body Repair Shop. This after an employee of Clear Choice told authorities the owner, 40-year-old Jesse Michael Seifert, never trust a man with 3 names, and his girlfriend Nancy Jean Lalane, both of Mankato, have been paying employees of Clear Choice in methamphetamine. According to a press release at a work meeting on Wednesday, each employee was given approximately 1/2 gram of meth as a see if it was the search of the property also found syringes and a digital scale, each testing positive for meth. Oh my God, was he selling his meth bonus?
I don't know, but I'm just sitting here going that's just such a poor a poor business model when you think let's go out, let's get all our employees really high so they can miss work and totally screw up productivity and everything else. I'm just sitting there going, that's crazy.
No, it's a bonus. So you figure you're getting paid on a Friday. So you just up for like 72 hours and come back to work. First of all, if you're paying people in weed or pills, yeah, everybody's missing work. If you pay everybody in meth, they might never go home. They might never go home. They might what are they going to fix now, Bob? Well, we fixed all the cars in 3 days. Oh, my God, get a car, crash it. We got to do more. Where's my bonus? Where's my bonus? Where's my bonus? I think I'm going to take up...
I don't know.
I think I'm going to take up...
Okay, terrific.
I think I'm going to take up auto body repair and move to Minnesota.
You would hate Minnesota.
There's not much I like these days. All right, why is the Army smashing Humvees?
Apparently something went horribly wrong. The 173rd Airborne Brigade is investigating what went wrong during an airborne drop that resulted in 3 Humvees free-falling to their destruction, as depicted in a widely shared online video. So not only did the Army make a mistake on its base in Germany while practicing heavy drops with some of our allies, some very, at this point, sought-after person involved in that exercise actually videotaped it and then posted it online.
Let me tell you what my theory is. So I'm reading this, and we're $20 trillion in debt, and we're dropping Humvees, not tents, not Jeeps, Humvees. We're dropping Humvees out of planes, and they're smashing on the ground. I started thinking about this. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I've come up with exactly what's going on. This is actually a marketing campaign of Humvee to beat Toyota. I actually think that Hummer wants to move in and take over the third world durka terrorist auto market.
Oh, durka.
Why do I say this? I say this because every time there's a terrorist attack on news from the Middle East, everybody, good guys, bad, and disinterested, are driving around in Toyotas. They're driving around in Toyotas. So my JD's conspiracy theory is that Hummer is paying the U.S. military to drop these things all over the planet, so there's more of those than Toyotas, and within the next 10 years, they're going to own the terrorist set.
Okay. It's an interesting marketing theory when we end up smashing them in the ground and they explode into fire. But
we're talking about tomorrow.
This was an exercise called Saber Junctions.
Wait. You said, it's not a good thing if you drop them and they burst into flames, right?
Yeah, there's no Humvee there to use.
Which car manufacturer are we talking about on the show today? Chevy, Ford, Toyota, or Hummer? Hummer, right? So evidently dropping them to blow up got us to talk about them, not bad marketing.
Well, the military's just a little upset that this video got out because apparently some people were yelling, called it, knew that was going to happen, da-da-da-da-da. And this is actually an exercise running from March 31st to April 24th involving about 5,000 soldiers from 16 allied European partner nations. So we didn't just drop Humvees and blow them up in front of our own folks. We dropped them in front of the world.
And I'm telling you, this is not a setup, but every single show we got to... And if it's weird, creepy, and about technology, enter the Japanese. From Bloomberg, Japan's next generation of farmers could be robots. As the average age of farmers globally creeps higher and retirement looms, what do they have, 401ks? Japan has a solution, robots and driverless tractors. The group of 7 agricultural ministers met in Japan's northern prefecture of Niigata this weekend for the first time in 7 years to discuss how to meet increasing food demand as aging farmers retire without successors. With the average age of Japanese farmers... If the average age of it doesn't the average Japanese person live to 134? So the age of the average Japanese farmer is now 67. Robots taking over.
Yeah, no, actually, I find this pretty interesting technology. Driverless tractors and harvesting devices, having worked in the agriculture industry, those have been under development for quite some time. And just for this reason, after a certain age, farming is really hard work. And farmers are not having as great success at renting out their land for someone else to cultivate because young folks really don't want to farm. I don't know. Maybe that'll change when they get really, really hungry. But significant portions of Japan's agricultural lands at this point are going uncultivated. And they're having trouble meeting the demands for food within Japan.
Why don't they just start farming next to Fukushima, and then they'll grow like 8,000-pound tomatoes? Yes, I said it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Fastest hour in conservative radio. Wrapping up, we want to thank everybody joining us live this past Sunday morning here on Game On. This is the point in the show, for those of you who are new, where I look at my co-host and I say, baby girl, baby girl, baby girl, you got those keys?
Oh, I got those keys.
Let's go.
All right.
Tell the nice people where they can find you.
Oh, you can always find me on Twitter telling Trump supporters what actually happened on @ScottsFire, SCOTSFYRE, and on Facebook it's Stacey Lennox.
You can find me at Game On JD on the Twitters. Ron, baby, feel better. We're pulling for you, and we love you so, so much. Remember, guys, alleyways, bar stools, shady situations, something about midgets. Got my bulletproof vest. Don't take a shot at me if I live. I'll see you Tuesday.
I'm looking for you, you Occupy freaks with your glitter bombs. Bring it on! Bring on the glitter. Everything has changed. Everything has changed in the last few years. Conservatives used to take it, and we're not taking it anymore.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com. If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.